Welcome back to another episode of Scryer's Room. I am your host, Famfare.
I'm Kevin.
I'm Mario.
And we're going to go back in with part 2 of my Dark Elf series. We were talking about the Dark Elves last episode.
Yeah, are they Dark Elves technically yet, or is this still technically...
They're still the Nagarothi at this point.
Right.
They have not been... No one considers them to be Dark Elves. The Elven people are considered to be a unified people and are just considered elves at this point.
Right. Like half their population dressed like Elrond from Lord of the Rings, then the other half dressed like Raiders fans.
Yeah, exactly. But before we go into the next part here, I want to touch over some stuff that we went over last time and clarify some things. I had mentioned that I wasn't sure if the war between the dragon ogres and the dragons was being won or lost. In the Time of Legends book, Malekith comments that the dragons beat the dragon ogres into hiding, but they made it pacts with the dark gods before they even had come to the world. So that's super ominous. And yeah, and the Shaggoths can summon lightning to power themselves. In fact, in that book, Malekith straight up fights one that has 2 giant fucking greatswords, and it's like it does like the anime crosses its sword thing and then channels lightning and blasts him with it.
Oh, classic.
It was super fucking metal.
Just doing a quick move out of, what's it called? Knights of the Zodiac.
Yeah, basically,
Just,
dude. Yeah.
I love those moves where they just do a pose that's hard as fuck and then they just shoot lasers at you somehow.
Oh, yeah. Classic.
Save that animation budget. Just look
brother.
sick as hell.
Saint Seiya?
Yeah.
Saint Seiya loved that one. Oh, man. Yeah,
That's the name I was looking for. Knights of the Zodiac is the bastard American version.
I think that's like the titular like series-esque thing. Like they're referred to as the Knights of the Zodiac series or something. Maybe. I don't know. It might be the Americanized version.
title.
It is the Americanized version?
Yeah, it's the American title. Yeah.
Okay, well. Yeah,
because we couldn't sell kids that there's a saint, and that saint is Japanese and also good at karate.
These
shooting
things
lasers.
Don't blend. These things don't blend.
Yeah.
Or they think it was heresy. I don't know. But yeah,
we've been talking about a lot of Warhammer. Heresy.
Yeah. And then I also they mention about 1,200 years into the colony's establishment in the old world from the Nagarothi. They mention that there are second and third generation Nagarothi there. So one thing I touched on last episode is I wasn't sure how long an elven generation was, and we pegged it about 100 years because like that's like you come of age as a man in like 100 years. But if in 1,200 years,
2 or 3,
it's only been 2 or 3 generations that I think we're pretty vastly off there.
Yeah, it's like 400 or 500 then.
And then furthermore, I had mentioned that I think dwarves only lived to be like 500 or so. Snorri Whitebeard is like kicking for at least 1,000 years. It sounds like. So we'll get to there. But yeah, I will. So we're gonna start here with the Age of Betrayal. So we had talked about the Age of Endless Glory in the last episode.
Yeah, just because you could doom Eternal for all time so long as you're one of these Raiders fan elves.
Yeah, exactly. And that's pegged at about negative 4,500 Imperial calendars. That was 4,500 years before the establishment of the Empire in the Warhammer world. And that went on until negative 4,419, and that's when the Age of Betrayal is started. I believe the High Elves call it the Age of Exploration, or at least one of the Ages of Exploration. But we're not talking about the High Elves.
They probably would call it something besides the Age of Betrayal.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah. So Malekith sailed to Elthin Arvan, which is what the elves call the Old World. And like his opening move was to annex one of the colonies there. I want to say it was Eotine, Tiranoc, or Illyrian. I'm not sure which of like the provinces it was from, but they were under attack by orcs, and like the prince was like, okay, well, there's just too many of them. We're just gonna flee, but there wasn't enough boats to take everybody, so there were just some people left back. And so Malekith shows up to this like burning port colony and like dismounts with this like I think his he had a vanguard of or a bodyguard of 6,000 men. He set off with 12 ships.
A bodyguard of 6,000 people,
fit for a Nagarite prince. Yeah, that's that good shit. Epic fantasy, brother. Like
that's the wrong word. That's all that is.
His army?
Yeah, his army.
His army left with his army, yeah. So, his army lands on the fucking beach here. Or like, they start to, like, unload, and he's, like, talking to, like, the guard captain there, and he's like, my lord, you've come to save us! And he's like, have I? Like,
have I and my 6,000 just friends come to save you?
Yeah, and he's like, what the fuck you mean, have you? Like, there are orcs outside, we're all gonna get killed if you don't do something. He's like, yeah, well, if you guys are Nagarothi, I'd die defending you, but you're not Nagarothi, are you? And he's like, oh, well, it's like that. And he's like, yeah, it's like that. So swear fealty to me, and then, I'll protect your fucking city. And they're like, but then we'll be seen as traitors. Like, we have
correct. I'm asking you to betray them.
Yeah, and he's like, yeah, oaths to who? He left you to die. You don't know him shit. Yeah. He's like, you know what? That's a solid point. Excellent point, Malekith. Like, and they swear allegiance to Nagaroth. They beat up all the fucking orcs. And it, like, smash cuts back to, like, the Phoenix Throne. And, like, fucking Bel'Shanar is, like, being petitioned by the prince that had, like, yo, Malekith just annexed my fucking colony. You have to do something about that. And he's like, well...
Oh my god, you fought him? No, I ran away first. Is that right? Interesting. Annex might not be the right word, then.
That's exactly how it went down. And he decrees that, he decrees if you're not going to defend your shit, it's up for grabs.
Yeah.
You're not going to defend your subjects. They don't owe you shit. Like... That dude, we establish a president right fucking now, and it was like, it was just such a baller move. Like, God, what a bastard. You will notice.
I mean, if you don't set that rule early, in 10,000 years, there's going to be a guy saying that my dad lived there, and like he would have his dad with him.
Yeah, he really
and now
would.
That's my house.
Yeah.
This is my excellent throne room, and this is my very profitable mines, and then they kick you out of. I'm imagining like the massive castle from Lord of the Rings. What's the
Minas Tirith?
Minas Tirith, yeah. Just like unfortunately, I lived here, so
it's all mine.
Mine.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely fucking not if you fled. Yeah, and another thing they do is they establish the novels establish Malekith's generosity, like, pretty early on. Because, like, so I was going to say, you'll see that I gush over the evil Witch King a lot here.
Right.
Let me establish he is evil and a baddie. Like, he's not a good person, and he's not someone you should look up to.
Right.
But in the fictional, fake, not real world, you can kind of gush over these just egotistical bastards. It's like wow, look at him go.
I mean, people generally, like, they mix up good and like interesting.
Yes.
Where it's like, oh, I love that character. What you mean by that is the interest that I have in that character is like equivalent to a love and like, and it's an intellectual like action, not a moral one.
Yeah, I love watching him. I love seeing his shenanigans and the way he chooses to go about things. Not because I think it's good, but it's like, once again, wow, look at him go.
It's
he
why
really
people,
just did that, did he? Wow.
It's why nobody, like, particularly who cares about, like, Marvel is like, Loki's a bad guy.
Like, Loki's a great example.
But they'll be like, oh, I hate, like, all of, I don't know, what's one of the hated Marvel TV shows? There's actually so many to choose from, but I didn't watch any of them. Let's say the Marvels, that one. I think that's the movie. I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm a bad fan. Like, people say that they hate that. I tapped out
of Marvel a while ago.
They say they hate that, and that's because it's boring. Like, the most unforgivable thing that you can do as, like, a piece of media is be boring. Not to say something bad, but be boring.
Yeah.
People hate that.
Absolutely. No, yeah, so yeah, Malekith, incredible bastard, right. Man, doing incredible bastard things.
Yeah, it's the same way I feel about Fabius Bile.
Fabius Bile's another great like, wow, look at him go!
He's like my favorite 40k character, just like, because he's such a fucking asshole. Like, he's such a piece of shit.
I remember being a wee lad, and I remember being like in middle school / high school, and like reading the lore and the codexes of like the books you get. And I remember reading like the Chaos Space Marines 3rd Edition Codex has a quote from Fabius Bile, and it's like, "You can be like the greatest guy ever, and history will remember you as a little blip, and that's fine. Or you can be the evilest man ever, period, and people will curse your name for eternity." That's like not the exact quote, but it's something along the lines of that. And I was like, wow! like
He's so evil.
Yeah, 12-year-old me was like, that guy's the coolest! Like, look at him go! Yeah. So I've always had like an appeal of like the edgy bastard evil men. But the books establish Malekith's generosity at this point.
Is he a generous person?
Well, he doesn't know mercy either, though. So like that's the other half of it is like, yes. And this would actually extend into his time as the Witch King later on, where like part of why Dark Elf society is so fucked and just it was doomed to collapse is that it's a society of meteoric rises and falls. Like, you could be the son of some dude and get a lucky cavalry charge and talk shit to the right guy at the right time as he's on his downfall. Malekith hears it, smirks, and now you're the general of a fucking army. And you don't know anything. You're literally nothing.
Oh man!
All of a sudden you're big shot. But guess what? You got big shot shoes to fill, motherfucker. Are you up for the challenge? Guess what? Sink or swim.
No society can run like this.
No, they can't.
Twitter can't even run like this, and it's just a website.
It's so bad. Like,
and explicitly, that is how it runs.
Yeah, it's a crash course in like just don't do that. Don't do that. It's bad. It's a bad idea. It's also bad because Malekith he's known for like his melancholic nature and his brooding.
Right.
And he's just prone to whim. Yeah. Anyway.
This is a fickle man with no concept of mercy.
Yeah, so he's very fickle, but he is generous. And the quote they used is all the knights that were following him did so with like fervor because they could see every prince a king and every knight a prince. That was the quote. And yeah, so they're off like conquistaing in this untamed wilds.
Conquistrial.
Yeah, and they soon encountered the dwarves. And they originally encounter them, and Malekith's like, okay, what the fuck is this thing? And then they look at Malekith, and they smile, and they kind of like, one of them kind of saunters up, and is like, elf. And they like nod, like, oh shit, okay. And then,
that's right, little guy.
Yeah.
It talks.
and then, yeah, they wave him on over, and they get that his name is Kurgik. And then one of Malekith's retainers is like pretty good with languages, so he's picking up the language pretty quickly.
Right.
Within like a few weeks, he is able to speak the language, or at least communicate right, to some extent. And he like they lead him over to a Caradrin to all you dwarf fans. That's a Slayer hold. And they hang out with King. I have his name written here somewhere. Gazarund. And they have like a huge feast. Malekith, I was gonna read the speech, but I will spare you. Yeah. Malekith gives a very not nice speech to the dwarves because they don't understand what he's saying, and he capitalizes on that.
He does like a whole like, and I hate you, and you're ugly, and your teeth are bad, and you smell, and by the way, I love all of you.
Yeah, it's so good. And then he gets introduced to the High King Snorri Whitebeard, and they would become BFFs. It's actually super sweet and wholesome. And they would like basically wrap up the remnants of like the Chaos invasions and basically set the seeds for the Empire to be founded later on. Like not knowing that they were doing it or intentionally, just they like purged that entire area and like really cleared it of like taint and corruption and like all the horrible mutated monsters, that it would be safe for the Empire to be formed later.
At this point, I'm still imagining the humans in like a caveman type aesthetic.
So they do encounter
and they're jealous as shit over these elves and their actual clothes.
Okay, so cool thing in the book. In the book, they're traveling north, and they encounter humans in their Ungabunga cavemen, and most of them like have like bronze tech, maybe.
Right.
And they see the elves and the dwarves in their fucking magical steel.
Yeah.
And they flee. But then they encounter some humans that like see them, and they like walk up to them and offer them like bread and stuff. And then the king gives them one of his like golden arm rings.
Right, because it means nothing to him.
And he gives him like this like Unga Bunga savage grin and like beckons him over to his cave. And they're like, and Snorri's like, oh, dude, we have to go to the Unga Bunga cave.
Yeah.
Malekith's like, I don't know.
Look at how excited
man.
they are.
Yeah, exactly. It looks like a puppy. Look at him go. Yeah. So they follow him back to the Unga Bunga cave.
They're almost people like you and I.
And they have a cave painting of what looks like a dwarf with a red crest and a battle axe fighting demons. And they point to it and they're like, oh. And Snorri's like, look! I think that's Grimnir! And he's like losing his mind over
Look at it!
Yeah, he's like, wow, look at him go!
Yeah. I'm imagining explicitly the caveman from the Iceman episode of Scooby-Doo.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, like actual...
And I think at this point in the story, that was 1,000 years ago. So, like, they've been passing this on for, like, that much time. So at this point, Snorri's like, dude, these guys are so cool. Like, we gotta do something about
I'm
this.
adopting the caveman.
Yeah, and
he's my son.
And Malekith's like, oh, I don't think you should adopt the caveman story. I don't think you should adopt the caveman. I think it's a bad idea. And Snorri's like, oh, come on, dude, look at him go. Like, they could do so many cool things if we taught him stuff.
Yeah.
And Malekith's like, what, like, teach him to, like, language? And, like, teach him Dwarfish? And he's like, no, not Dwarfish. Of course not Dwarfish.
Look at them.
Else.
They're barely ungying their bungas. They don't know how to speak, like, oof, dun, they don't know how to do all that.
But yeah, he's like talking about
we'll come up with something stupid for them to talk through, and it's English.
Exactly. The language of savages.
The language of morons.
No, but so they're having a debate about what to do, and they're like, you know what? We're gonna wait and see. We're gonna sit on this for a bit, and we're gonna fuck off, and hopefully they endure, and we'll do something about this later.
Yeah.
But yeah,
ideally, we won't have broken the Prime Directive at all by giving them your magical armband.
Yeah,
it wasn't a magical armband, was it? And he's like, I don't know, it's crazy.
Yeah, God bless. They basically established the Prime Directive at that point. They're like, we really should fuck with them.
Instead, now they have a crazy dwarf religion.
Yeah, it's just Unga Bunga cave paintings. And then, they established a thriving colonial network, and they were, like, just really having a good time adventuring together, being bestest of buds.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so 1,200 years of 1,200 years of doing that, Bel'Shanar would come to visit from like Ulthan to come visit the colonies and then the New World, or I guess what they what would be known as the Old World later, but the New World to the Elves.
Right.
Yeah, getting tongue twisted here. And
not the new Old World or the new World, which of course is in Hawaii. It's the old world, but that is currently the New World.
It's not confusing at all.
It's not confusing at all. It's very straightforward.
So Bel'Shanar would come to visit to make the alliance between the dwarves and elves official, and like they're all fretting about like, oh, it needs to be perfect. Oh my god, if anything goes wrong, it would be the most devastating war that ever happened ever.
Right.
Of course, we would never let something like that happen. Why would something like that happen ever?
Luckily, everyone knows how serious this is, and no one would do something stupid and fast that could be misconstrued culturally.
Yeah, never that.
That won't happen, so let's not even talk about it.
No, we won't. And so, things did go well. They have a great reception, and like they're outdoing themselves, and it's fun. And Malekith is like really at this point trying to be like, all right, like Bel'Shanar has the Phoenix Throne, but he's over in Ulthan gallivanting around. I have all the glory. I gave us these colonies. I solidified this alliance. I am great. I'm awesome. My ego is intact. I'm kind of the coolest. And he's also they criticize him heaping a standing army of 200,000 men. And Bel'Shanar's like, bro,
those are my bodyguards, actually.
A meager force of 200,000 as my bodyguard.
What if 200,001 guys comes after me? I need those guys.
No, Bel'Shanar's like, against what threat do you maintain such a force? And he's like, well, what if chaos comes back? And they're like, chaos has been banished by the Maelstrom. Like, you are paranoid, brother. Like, and Malekith's like, what? Like, no, this is a legacy I inherited. Like, an Aryan the Defender, and I'm his son, and I'm going to defend Ulthan against any threat. Like, and I'm going to be ready to do so. And they kind of, like, shift and nervous. Like, oh, fuck, this guy's, like, he means business. And then they just, like, nervously laugh and walk away, and he's like, ah! Like, just pissed off at them because they're not taking any of this shit seriously. And then, so they don't take him seriously, they don't take the threat seriously. And then they actually go through with, like, the meetings and, like, the talks between the High King and the Phoenix King, and they actually go the negotiation down, and the Phoenix King is like, you know what? This is good. You've done good. I like this. I like that you're dwarves. I like that we're elves. I like that we're working together. And I'm going to name Malekith the ambassador of this alliance that I have forged between our peoples. And
Malekith was crazy about that, huh?
And he's seething. But, you know, for the sake of, like, appearances, he's like, oh, what a great honor you've given me. But, like, after that, he had to leave, and he was unable to look on an elven face for 5 months. He went to the woods. He just fucked off. He just didn't...
Right.
He's just so angry that he just could not be around anyone for 5 months.
I'm gonna go to my angry cabin.
5 months is nothing to an elf.
Well,
that's him taking the afternoon off.
The funniest... Yeah, it really is. And the funny part, too, is that he was just basically backpacking in the wilderness. He's just like, I'm going into the woods to be angry. Like,
I'm going into the woods. Where into the woods? As far into the woods as I have to go.
And it was bad because he came back out, and, like, the dwarves are looking for him. And, like, he gets...
Brother, it's been 5 months.
I think Kurgan...
We thought you were dead.
Kurgan pulls him aside and is like, it's not good. The High King is ill. He's ill, and he's asking for you. It's not good. And Malekith's like, nani? And, like, dramatically, like rushes to, like, some horse and, like, rides the horse to near death and, like, goes as fast as he can south to go to the fucking High King's side. And he dashes there, and the High King is, like, as pale as his beard is white. Oh. And he's, like literally about to die, like, holding on just for Malekith, and he wakes up. And Malekith is like, I'm here, Snorri. And he's like, you have to hear my oath. And he's like, I'll hear it. And he starts, like, explaining, like, basically he's like, you need to promise me that you're going to uphold all that we've built together, because we've built something great. We've given our people something really good, and we should be very proud about this.
Yeah, before you, neither elf nor dwarf knew that there was another advanced culture on this planet.
Yeah, we both survived the apocalypse, and we're both the strongest things now, and it's good. And you have to make sure you keep it good, Malekith. You have to promise me that you will, and remember that there's nothing as foul as an oathbreaker. And then as he says that, he just dies. And Malekith's like, I will, Snorri. I will. And then, and then with that, at that point, Malekith's heart breaks.
Right.
And he believes that with him, Snorri took all of the glory of what he accomplished in that millennia with him. Like, it was an end of an era for him.
Yeah.
Like, the age of, like, conquest and exploration and glory is dead with Snorri. It's all over. And
that time is over.
And the only thing left to fight for was the Phoenix Throne. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
That's what the book said. Uh-oh. That was, great way to fucking end that chapter. But yeah, so he was fuming about all that. And so he planned to do an expedition north, and he was looking for 500 of the baddest dudes.
Right, to go with his 200,000.
With no families, because this is
500 extremely badass orphans. We're beginning the Batman.
And he's like, I need the baddest dudes, no families, because guess what, guys? I don't even expect to come back. I'm going up there to find the great enemy, and if I find him, he'll probably kill me. Who the fuck knows? I don't know what's up there. Nobody does. That's why I'm going. And so they're like, wow, Malekith, you're actually the coolest.
So where is he going?
The north. Just north.
Just north.
To the Chaos Waste. It's like to the gate. He just wants to see, like, what is up there.
Right. Like if there's still a Satan up there, I'm going to fucking smack his ass.
We just assume that the demons are banished. Are they?
Yeah.
What's up there? Like, because there's... The monsters and shit are coming from somewhere.
Yeah.
And the winds of magic are coming out of there. Like...
he's going to the Arctic, basically.
Yeah, he's basically going to the Arctic.
I'm putting together an Arctic expedition.
Yeah, he's yeah.
Except unlike real life, there's actually things there.
Yeah.
Fucking demons and Cthulhu's and shit, just fucking. But Fucking yeah. So he's doing that. It's 500 of the baddest dudes, and I think something like 60,000 people show up to like be like, take me, Malekith. I'll come with you, Malekith.
I'll kill my family if you need me to.
Yeah, exactly. Just simping for him, and he's like, fuck you, people. Like,
no, your family has to die of natural causes.
Yeah, and he gets real racist with it. He's like, I want only Nagarothi, like no less than 300 years old, no families, like. And he's like, oh yeah, just pure Nagarothi, no colonist. I was like, all right, Malekith, all right, yeah. Kevin's making a face, like.
There's not real. That's not even racism. That's silly.
Well, I mean, it narrows him down.
It does.
It narrows him down.
Not by a lot, evidently. There's 60,000 of them.
Yeah, God bless. But yeah, he gets 500 of the baddest dudes. And then right before he's about to set off, a fleet arrives in port. Oh no. A whole bunch of ships. And a massive, giant, floating fortress. What is this? We've never seen something like this before. What could this be? Who could this be? And people are losing their minds or going into the docks. Malekith sees this ship. It can only be one fucking person. So he gets up and he strides down to the docks. He puts on his cloak and all this stuff and gets all ready and pampered or whatever. And there's a bunch of people like freaking out on the docks, like, oh my god, we have to see! And he all but doombolts them to get out of the way. He literally pulls his sword out and like does like a blast of lightning, like, be gone, peasants! Like,
main characters need to talk.
Yeah, and so he like fucking walks to the docks and his mommy Morathi comes in. She's never, ever, ever been to the colonies before.
Right.
So it's a really big deal for the people of Athos Heralion, because basically his capital at this point in the colonies.
Right.
So she comes over and he like takes his mom's hand. They're having a stroll as mother and son through the capital. All the people, all the common folk are like, wow. Kind
of fucking up the like vibes for the muster, but
you know what I mean, right? But, like,
sorry guys, we have to hold off on the death expedition. My mom came.
The celebrity couple is here. Wow, a celebrity is here. Wow, and they're like watching, and then Malekith's like, "Mom, what the fuck are you here?" Just like whispering to her as they're walking, like, "What the fuck are you doing here, you stupid bitch? The fuck?
You're fucking up my suicide mission."
Yeah. Basically, like, if you come to stop me, you will not do so. And she's like, "Well, first off, hi. Second off,
haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah, second off, I didn't come to stop you. I came to cheer you on, basically." And he's like, "Oh, Ma, thank you." She's like, "Yeah, that giant floating fortress, that's the ship you're going to take on your expedition. So you have a fucking floating fortress."
Yeah.
It's called a dragon ship. I named it Androgony, or after your dad's dragon.
And this is a flying ship, or?
No, it's just a giant
a
fucking floating fortress, basically. And then, like, it has, like, I think it had, like, 3 holes.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's like a massive fucking ship. And yeah, so she's like, yeah, blah blah, and then Malekith explains he's heard some rumors back at home that things there are like some scandalous stuff going back in the court, that like you're doing some stuff with priests or something, and she's like, rumors and slander in the court. They wish to undermine my authority and the power of Nagaroth. Like, fret not, my son, there is nothing amiss back in your homeland.
Mom, I've noticed you've slid into your villain voice.
Sweetie, never me.
No. You can hear the vibrator.
Yeah, dude, right? Like,
forgot to turn it off.
Fuck. The worst. But yeah, so she's just, whispering sweet evil nothings to her son about the state of affairs. But she brought with her some 700 retainers because, high elf shit. Like, I'm not.
That's a pretty lean group by elf standards.
You know what I mean? They're going here with a bodyguard of 6,000 guys. Yeah. So, like, 700 retainers.
That's pretty lean.
That's pretty lean, traveling light, So, but most of them are priests. And up until this point, Malekith is like, we're going to take a quick aside here. Kevin, you want to tell us about a man named Strajonko? Stojanko.
Oh, so I drive for a rideshare thing, and this is a man that I drove a while ago, and I picked him up, and we went to a bar in the area. I'm not going to name any bars or the area, but
and I mean, Stojanko's not his real name.
Correct. This is the name that we gave to a pretty funny man that we have then extrapolated jokes out of.
Yes.
He told me to go to this bar. because he needed to see if somebody was working there, because he didn't really give a reason at this point. But while we're on our way there, he asks if he can play music on his phone, and I'm like, you're sitting in the back, you're fine. And what normally people do is they put on headphones or AirPods or something. Not this guy. He just, on his phone, starts playing Macedonian folk music.
What a Chad.
And I mean, for one, it was pretty cool music.
Hell yeah.
Made me feel like I was in a Johnny Quest episode. But he's listening to that at full volume, holding the phone next to his head as if he was like on a phone call. So it's just blasting into one side of his face while he is yelling his conversation at me and letting me know about some of his political opinions. My favorite of which was one that he revisited quite often, where he said, there are people that you never trust. Doctor, lawyer, politician, and priest. And then he would spit on the floor of my car. Every time.
That's so good. What a piece of shit.
Anyway, I take him to the bar, and he informs me now that I need to make sure it's not Jessie working tonight. She won't let me be served. And I'm like, what? And then he goes in, and he comes back. Jessie was working. And evidently, he is the kind of drunk where he gets rowdy, and then people cut him off. And so now he has developed a method. It's like an Amish sweep, where he will go to every bar around, seeing if there's anyone who won't serve him at any of these bars. And I know that's the situation because he got back into my Uber immediately after that. He left his phone in my car so I wouldn't drive away. And we just went from bar to bar with him. He had like a name of an employee at every single one to make sure, like, if Brian's working, then they won't serve me. And then I would just go to the next further away bar. He was the coolest.
What a cartoon character.
And he tipped you like every time, right?
Yeah. It was great. I made like $100 on that trip.
Hell yeah.
He gave me $20 every time that we stopped at a bar. And we stopped at a couple. And he had a system that he had to go through.
That's the screening bar system. What a character. But yeah, I bring this up because the notion of priest spits on car floor, that was Malekith's dad. Like, he did not like priests. He did not trust priests. He said, son, there are 4 people you do not trust
in this world.
Priest! And he spits on the floor. And Malekith was like, yes, dad, I trust you.
Yeah,
so,
I trust you implicitly.
Yeah, Malekith, not a huge fan of priests. So Morathi brings with her a shit ton of priests. And he's like, Mom, what the fuck are you doing? She's like, oh, don't worry, son. They're just gonna chill here in your city while you go on the expedition, and don't think anything bad of this. There's no way anything wrong or bad.
Infiltrating?
No. Why would you think that? Why would you say that to your sweet mommy? No.
Would never.
Why do they all have nipple piercings and are rubbing their nipples? Like,
no, them, no. No, they're not.
Seeing a lot of symbols on their robes. A lot of Prince fans, I guess.
Yeah. It's the next symbol.
That's a great joke.
That's a really good joke. I never heard that joke before. That's a really good joke.
I'm proud of myself on that one. I'm patting myself on the back.
You should be. Everyone listening, you should pat yourself on the back for Kevin. That was an excellent joke. A lot of Prince. What? And then the Dark Prince. Ah! Wow, there's a lot. Wow, there's so many layers to this joke.
And the greatest comedian who's ever lived.
Oh man,
I make dumb jokes.
I'm losing it. I'm fucking losing it. Yes, we played.
I'm so stupid.
Okay. It's about to set out with those 500 dudes, and he takes Andrognir as his flagship, and he goes north, and he travels for 15 years seeking a mighty foe to vanquish. Just traveling around the Chaos Waste, finding Ungabunga Cave, and like, most of the humans you encounter, they just run because they know better. Those guys have steel. I'm an Ungabunga caveman with like a fucking bronze fork. I need to get the fuck out of here. So,
We've just started to figure out pointy rock technology.
Yeah.
Like, it's hard out here in the Chaos Waste.
But they even say it's like a 50-50 split of like, oh no, we can't fight, run, and then charge! Like, knowing they're going to die. They just don't care because of the Dark Gods.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're just like seeing no great enemy. Like, nothing of note, like nothing. And Malekith's like getting more and more like...
In fact, it's sort of mostly pathetic cavemen and ice.
And he's getting more and more deranged as they're going up. Because he's like more and more bitter about like...
There's nothing? Seriously?
I need more glory. Yeah. Like, Bel'Shanar cut me out of my rightful glory with the colonies and took my achievements as his own. I need another photo vanquish from my own ego and my own sanity. Like, what the fuck am I doing? Dude, I'm the son of an Aryan. The fuck am I doing right now?
He just turns into Elven Captain Ahab.
Yeah, he's Ahabbing. And at one point, one of his men, like, pulls him aside and is like, alright, so we'll follow you to hell and back as long as you know if there's a like, no, he says, like, tell me what you'd have us do and we'll do it without question. He's like, shit, well, I don't really know what we're doing. And he's like, It
seems, at this point, like it's mostly camping while sharpening swords. Which, while it has been a good 15 years, it has been 15 years.
He ends up saying something edgy like, what if I told you we're going to walk into the chaos, to the realm of chaos itself? And the guy's like, no one's done that and come back. He's like, yeah, well, that's the point. We're going to be the guys to come back. It's going to be great. And he's like...
That's why I said none of you could have families. Duh.
And the guy's like, I don't think we should do that, sir. And he's like, you fucking...
It's the only thing to do.
Pussy-ass coward.
Yeah.
Like, he's like gaslighting him.
You're supposed to be some of my baddest dudes. I'm starting to think that the 15 years out in the frozen darkness has bummed you out some.
Yeah, so they're like super, like, not stoked about what's going on.
Yeah.
And then, like, this storm that they're in or whatever clears, and they see this mysterious city. Oh, no. And so they go to explore. And there's, like, clearly chaos shit happening because, like, they'll go down a corridor that looks like it's, like, 15 feet and we'll be walking for a mile. And, like, vice versa. Where, like, it'll look like a super long corridor and they'll, like, walk once, be at the end of it. And, like, oh, this is fucking trippy, dude. I actually hate this.
Yeah.
And, like, all of the angles of the architecture were, like, wrong, apparently. They were, like, at odd angles and just, like, very uncanny valley architecture. Just really mind-fuck central.
Did it use the phrase that I fucking hate at this point? It had non-Euclidean geometry.
Yeah, I think so.
They always fucking do that because Lovecraft coined that like, phrase to describe weird shit.
Because Euclidean is, like, a type of math. It's
really fucking annoying.
I think. Right? Because Euclidean math is what we usually use.
So from what I understand, it actually doesn't make sense to describe something that way.
No, not really.
It doesn't, right? I was trying to understand.
I can't explain why, but I watched a video of someone explaining why it doesn't make sense, and it's apparent. It's a dumb phrase, apparently, but everyone fucking uses it because Lovecraft did.
I think it's like something that can be described through like consistent surfaces, and like you can't describe it if it doesn't have surface.
I want to say he used that word. He described the geometry in a lot of different ways about like how just the walls and stuff didn't make sense.
Right. The long and short of it is, don't use that term. We don't know why it's wrong.
It's played out.
But it's played out.
So I don't know if in the books they didn't give it a name at least where I was at, that the city is called Vorshgar. But the Wikipedia pulled that up. I don't have a source on that though. I didn't see where the Wikipedia pulled that from.
Right.
Or not the Wikipedia, but like whatever the wiki was.
Wiki,
the fandom wiki. But the city predated the coming of the old ones. So like it's like older than like the old ones. Huh. So that city's like super old. And there were creatures there.
Was it made by Chaos?
They don't know.
Oh.
They have no fucking idea.
I mean, our options are Chaos somehow got here sooner than we thought. Lizard people did it.
Yeah.
Or one of the fucked up kinds of dragons did it.
Yeah. Or something that was there.
Or something that isn't around anymore.
Which, they find skeletons of creatures that were short of torso and long of limb like elves, thicker of bone like man, and height little more than a dwarf, with skulls disturbingly familiar, yet not like any he'd seen. And at that point, most of his men started to freak the fuck out. They're like, Malekith, where the fuck are we, dude? We need to get out of here. And he's like, no, we have to keep going. Like tally-ho, lads! We must explore for the Empire! And they're just like, sir, please! Like, we need to go back. And they keep on going, and they encounter, like a tomb with a whole bunch of, skeletal, obvious skeleton guards standing around.
Right. Anybody who's played any video game would recognize that those are about to come to life.
Yeah, they're about to spawn, and you're gonna have to fight them. Anyone knowing anything, and but they played enough simulations in their illusions or whatever. So okay, we're gonna station guards around these guys.
Yeah.
Everyone cover one of them. They're clearly a threat.
Yeah.
And then he sees this inner council looking chamber thing, and there's a kingly kind of skeleton, and he has this crown on him. And Malekith is like,
I like crowns.
I like crowns.
I was just doing a bit. No.
and his number 2 is like, Malekith, and he's like, I'm taking that crown. He's like, sir, please don't touch anything. This place is evil. Only bad things can happen, sir.
Boss, you see that's the only interactable object around here in a room full of what's obviously going to be enemies that are activated when you take it. And he's like, but bro, it's free.
It has horns on it.
Look at how cool it is.
It's pretty fucking cool. And it's radiating magic. Oh yeah, he followed it there.
Oh.
Because he's a wizard, so he can tune into the winds of magic. Because Marathi taught him a whole bunch of secret sorcery shit. So he basically used the winds of magic to pull him to that room. And then the crown is what's pulling him. And he's that's the big ticket item. That's what we're here for. This is destiny. Destiny is calling me. I have to take the crown.
He's like, that's not destiny.
Yeah, he's like, it's not destiny. It's an evil curse.
It's explicitly a magic crown that's doing it, and that's not destiny.
Yeah, it's a demon or something, my man. Please don't take the crown. And he picks it up, pops it on.
Of course.
Fades to black. And then Malekith is basically transcended in that fucking what's that movie where the prophecy is true and the fucking the meme or transcendence or whatever, and he goes God mode and he can see everything, becomes omniscient or whatever. So yeah, he's able to
2001 Space Odyssey things flying by his face.
Yeah, all the memes, all of the transcendent nonsense that you see in various memes and media. And Malekith's going through one of those with the world, and he's like, I see it all. I comprehend it all. And he sees the entire world, and he zooms out of the world basically, and he's like, oh, okay, so we're here, and those are the Chaos Wastes. Oh wow, they're big. Oh wow, there's a lot of them down there. And then he actually sees into the realm of chaos, and he sees each one of the gods. And feels his mind being ravaged by each of them, and it's each time it's oh, this is it, oh, this is it, oh, this is it, but he manages to go through all 4 of the chaos gods and maintain his sanity intact. And then from the experience, he sees magic differently. He sees magic differently and has a completely different understanding of magic because of this crown. And when he turns to look at the chamber, he can see golden architecture, and the city is actually beautiful, masterfully crafted, but only to his eyes, because he can actually see the magic properly. He's all these plebeians beneath me have no fucking idea.
They think it's rocks and shit.
Yeah, these stupid mongrels basically getting his fucking ego all stoked up, as you do when you're now wearing the evil crown.
Yeah.
So he's over here just thinking about it, and basically comes to the conclusion that I'm the only thing that can master chaos, and therefore I need to be the one in charge. That. More or less, at this point, when you put on the crown of iron, he decided that, I need to be on the Phoenix throne because no one takes that seriously. I just went toe-to-toe with it and I didn't lose. Yeah. The fact that I'm saying it all...
I didn't win, but I didn't lose.
The fact that I'm saying it all, I'm already leaps and bounds above everybody else, which means I deserve to be in charge, which means that's what I'm going to focus on. And then, at that point, the book cuts to a different perspective. And I hadn't read it in a while, so it kind of gets fuzzy from this point on, so I'm just going to we're going to go through a general explanation of the Sundering.
The Sundering, they call it.
Yeah, the Sundering is when the elves split. And
now they're going to officially be Dark Elves.
Yeah, it's about to happen. So, meanwhile, in Ulthan, The priest I was talking about, that Marathi brought,
Yeah.
and like, she was saying, oh, they're slandering me back at home. Yeah. No, they're not slandering her.
They're reporting news truthfully, turns out.
There are a bunch, so the elves, because things are so good, their lives have very little meaning and very little like fulfillment. So they're turning to like trying to find other ways to find stimulus and other ways to find purpose and meaning and fulfillment and rush. So they've just become decadent, hedonistic pleasure cultists, like everywhere. Like they're just popping up like fucking like woodworks, and they're just having murder death orgies, like sacrificing a guy and then like fucking in his blood, and just doing evil satanic shit, and like doing rituals to the Dark Elven gods. Because before it was like they would do rituals to appease them. Yeah. And it was like, okay, we have to do this so that our babies don't get eaten by wolves.
Yeah.
But like they're doing
we'll
it
be
like
smote by crows if we don't do this.
But this is the version of like, now go eat their babies with wolves, but not mine. Like, and so they're doing the evil blood rituals, and so Bel'Shanar is like established. Yeah, don't fucking do that. So they're like killing a lot of these cultists or subduing them, imprisoning them, whatever. Mm. But a lot of them are like obviously demonically possessed.
Yeah.
And like killing people and shit, or killing themselves. Like they try to interrogate people and they just set themselves on fire, and they're like, my soul goes to the ash. Like, So like, wow, it's pretty fucked. It's pretty fucked over back in.
What do you make of this, Marathi? It's my understanding we rescued you from one of these at some point. How do we deprogram him? And she's like, oh, I'll take care of them.
Yeah, and everyone's like, the stem, the source of these cults is Nagarythe. But none of us have the balls to do anything about it. Like, basically, the Elven princes get together. They're like, yeah, you're right. None of us do have the balls. Like, and like, if only Malekith was here to handle this. But he's over gallivanting back in the fucking...
Also, he's explicitly one of the guys that we have to kick out.
Well, that's the thing. At this point, they have the opposite of him. They're like, he's like the last one pure, because he's from the colonies the whole time. He's free of this taint. Oh, what did Marathi do? Right before he left, what did she bring to the colonies?
Just some guys.
Who didn't leave with her.
My 700 closest friends.
And most of them didn't leave with her.
No, of course
that was her.
There's explicitly at least 600 empty homes there.
That was her gift to the colonies, she said.
Right.
A gift indeed. So, yeah, pleasure cults ruining everything.
Yeah.
Things are getting bad.
They're going through a satanic panic.
Malekith eventually does come home different,
right?
Obsessed with studying dark magic, just like and learning the dark secrets. Like
pretty into his new headwear.
Yeah, the only way we're gonna beat chaos is by using chaos against them, and I'm the only guy bad enough to do that. So I'm gonna do that. And that's what I'm gonna focus on. And everyone else not letting me do that is an asshole. And then they're like, but Malekith, the homeland, it's under threat. And like he's like, shit, I promised my mom I'd care about that. Yeah. So he comes back and is like going full Doomslayer on the cults, because he's like, Daddy taught me right. None of you are to be trusted.
And now he has a Super Saiyan crown.
Yeah, and he's just fucking straight up purging these people. But like it's a problem. It's like a pandemic problem with the elves. It's like past Ulthan. It's like everywhere.
Oh man.
And he's like, okay, well, hey Bel'Shanar, we need a confederation of all the elven forces to like unify and like root this out at its core across all nations. I want your permission to lead this coalition. Like, we have to fucking do this. It's like, oh yeah, before he does this, he learns, Marathi is the one orchestrating it, obviously. And Malekith's like, Mom, what the fuck are you doing? And she's like, it's for your glory, son. It's for your glory. They don't treat you right. And it's for your glory. And he's like, no. And so they lock her up. Throw away the key. And then, but he's constantly going back to Mommy to talk to her, because she's a seeress. She's one of the most powerful, knowledgeable wizards ever, so of course she's gonna ask her
he uses her like she's friggin' Hannibal Lecter.
Yeah, she gets Hannibal Lecter treatment, basically, yeah. And he's like rooting out these cults that she fucking founded.
Right.
And what is essentially a hissy fit, as she would like him to believe.
Yeah.
So he's like, Bel'Shanar, we gotta do something with it. He's like, Malekith, you're right, I'm gonna do this, and I just need to let you know, you're not gonna lead the task force. And Malekith is like,
are you fucking serious right now?
Excuse me? And he's like, yeah, I'm actually gonna give it to Imric Kaldor, the grandson of your rival. Remember that guy? Yeah, he's gonna get all of the glory and attention and recognition for this instead of you. because it has to be known that I'm the Phoenix King and that it was my authority that did this. Otherwise, people are going to think that I'm weak and that you should be Phoenix King. Weak as can't happen.
You are weak. I should be Phoenix King.
See? And this is how it happens. This is how it happens. If you explain Malekith's story from his perspective, he's almost sympathetic. But he did kill Bel'Shanar in cold blood. He did just kill that motherfucker. We're going to get to that part.
Okay.
But that's why he does it. This is why he does it. This is the point.
Yeah.
This is the point where he's like, no way did you just do this again. No way did you just do this again.
Screw me once. Screw me twice.
Yeah. Three times! 3 times, Bel'Shanar. 3 times, Bel'Shanar. And you're just a fop on a throne. You're not a warrior. You can't hack. If the chaos,
you didn't even come up with any of these ideas.
If chaos came back tomorrow, your ass ain't helping anyone.
Yeah.
And he knows this. And so Malekith he lost his mind. He's like, no. He storms into his mom's prison.
Yeah.
Quotes prison. It's like a fucking manor where she's like painting and shit.
Yeah.
Eating fucking wine.
Right. She went in there rich. We don't even in our fiction punish our rich people.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So he's like Mama, he's done it again. And she's like, I know, sweetie, I know.
Yeah,
he's like, well, what do I do? And she's like, okay, so what's gonna happen is, do you remember that one guy that you used to know when you were a kid? He's like my servant now. He's actually like a close confidant to Bel'Shanar, one of his servants. So he's planted some of those cultist artifacts in his chambers. They've been there for like a while now. So yeah, what's gonna happen is you're gonna poison him, and then you're gonna say that, oh, in my investigation, I found all of these relics. He was one of the cultists all along, and he killed himself in shame. And then you get to be Phoenix King. And Malekith's like, Mom, that's a horrible, stupid, bad idea. We're doing it.
Yeah.
Like, because he's just so angry at this point. Yeah. So, like, he doesn't like to say it's a bad idea. He's just like, he's impressed that she had set all that up so far in advance, but it's like, it's Marathi. Like that.
Man, that makes me think that he's stupid. Because he still hasn't put together my mom, who we ostensibly rescued and deprogrammed from the pleasure cults, has now, en masse, instituted pleasure cults. Well, I guess that's because she just turned bad again. Not was always bad, tricked my dad, and that's why I'm doing all of this.
No.
That's impossible.
Impossible.
My evil dad getting tricked?
Never.
After he turns insane?
Never. Not once. Never an Aryan. Not an Aryan. Not our boy crush.
I like to think his reaction was when the dude did, the third time. And he was, I have been so chill about this.
I've been so patient. Like, oh my god.
It's just like that's the the breaking point. Like, no more.
Yeah, that is.
I'm evil now.
Yeah, I'm evil now. He all but said. I mean, he was already borderline. He did a lot of evil shit. Like one of the evil things he did.
He's still like loyal, like to the elven race.
And there was a means to an end, and he did more good than bad.
Yeah.
Like one of the evil things he did was one of the princes of Elthin found the dwarves before he did, and was like,
gotta ice her ass. I need that credit.
Yeah, he was like, hey, you're in exile, and he's like, yeah, I'm in exile. I'm buttering up these dwarves, so you can't do that. And the reason why Malekith killed him is Malekith is being introduced to the High King of the dwarves,
right,
for the first time, introduced, and he sees 2 other elves up there. Malekith's like, well, I guess I don't get to make first contact. So he's already kind of pissed about that. And then the other elves see him, and they're pissed because it's like, well, that's Malekith. He's gonna want all the fucking glory about this.
Yeah.
So all the elves are just angry at each other right now.
Yeah.
And the prince introduces Malekith to the king in their tongue, and the king kind of gives him a nod and goes about his business. And Malekith's like, excuse me, how did you introduce me? No. His retainer, the guy that learned Dwarvish. And he's like, what the fuck did you just say? And everyone's like, oh, what are your panties in a bunch of? He's like, he introduced you as a minor lord. And Malekith was like, oh, a minor lord. The son of a Narian lord of Anlik, a minor lord. Oh, you will address me the way I meant to be addressed. And the guy and does all the titles and shit. He lists off 20 fucking titles or some shit. And
they live a long time. He's got a lot of time to do that.
Right, and the dwarf's like, do they normally fucking do that? And he's like, he's trying to make a point that he's important. And he's like, oh, that makes sense. And then the High King kind of puts together what just happened. Is like, you're probably gonna get stabbed, huh?
That's sad. I liked you.
Well,
liked, but
I like to think he put it together that like
He would have
beef
put
was
it.
established.
Yeah.
And then later on, when
Dwarves are explicitly super into grudges and stuff.
Yeah.
He would recognize a betrayal like that.
Yeah, dwarves don't lie. That's one thing they really try not to do. But in the book, the guy gets got, and he misses the ambassador meeting when they're actually introducing the Phoenix King to the High King, and the High King's like, it's a shame that all of his hard work is going to be like, completely for naught because he chose to go outside without an escort. Shame that. Malekith's like, yeah,
damn shame.
What could have possessed him to go outside without an escort? He's like, probably troll fodder. Yeah.
Sad.
I hope no one thinks there were any, like, he literally says, I hope no one thinks any misdeeds were done here. And the High King's like, you think anything fucking suspicious happened? And he's like, no, never. But I could see that someone could make such an accusation. And then they just drop it. Like, which I'm pretty sure the High King understood what happened.
Right.
Like, because you don't get...
No, dwarves, they have a specific gigantic metal tome in which they record every time any dwarf has been wronged, and from that book you can extract vengeance.
Yeah, he totally knows Malekith got that guy.
Yeah, he knows that he got that guy, and also is cool with it because that's what you got to do sometimes.
He's got it,
Yeah, he shouldn't have crossed you.
When he didn't rat him out, they just like fist bump real quick.
Yeah. That's how we do it over here with the grudge bearers.
And this is why there are no good guys in Warhammer.
Yeah.
This is exactly why. The logic.
Ironically, the best guys are the lizard men.
I mean, there's sort of good guys in fantasy, at least. 40K is like, no way. But.
Yeah, no, I would say dwarves are higher tier. They're petty and shitty at times. I would consider them to be like a decent civilization. And high elves are one of the better civilizations for sure.
Right.
The Empire is like decent, but like they could be doing better. But yeah, so Malekith goes to meet the Phoenix King with a goblet of wine, and he's like, "Hey, man, I just want to let you know that I actually support your decision, and I'm totally not mad about it." And Bel'Shanar's like, "Dude, you don't know how much of a relief it is that you said that, man." I was like,
and I was actually thirsty also. This is great.
Funny enough, he wasn't thirsty. He's like, I'm actually not thirsty. And Malekith's like, well, would you like some wine to calm your nerves, my king? And he's like, I'll have some wine. And he drinks it, and then he puts it back down. Morathi told him, this wine is not supposed to be lethal. This is supposed to be tonic. That's why it's going to be convincing.
Right.
If you drink a whole bunch of it, it will kill you.
Right.
So you have to make sure he drinks all of it. And Malekith was looking at the goblet on the fucking table. And he's just like, hey, you don't want any more wine?
How about a toast?
And he's like, actually,
well, 5.
He's like, actually, I'm not really thirsty, Malekith. I'm just gonna keep pouring over my papers and try to stop the pleasure cults that your mom started.
I'm actually pretty busy right now. It's great that you're not angry.
Yeah.
This is good wine, though.
And then Malekith grabs his throat and grabs the goblet and just shoves it in his fucking mouth and forces it down his throat. And, just kills him. So, like, I remember saying, I think I said in a previous episode, not in the previous Dark Elves episode, but, like, earlier, many episodes in the podcast ago, I had mentioned that there was some lore that had mentioned there was a misunderstanding in the Phoenix King's death, and that Malekith there was a hint that he might have been innocent. The Time of Legends books, there was no hint he is not innocent. He killed that motherfucker. He killed him in cold blood. Like, it was bad. It was just like, yeah, fuck you. Fool me once, fool me twice, never again, Bel'Shanar, you're dead. And so he fucking poisons that guy, and then goes, oh, he's killed himself.
How tragic.
So the next day, they're having a meeting.
He comes out visibly roughed up from, like, a fight, and he's just like, oh, whew, super sad. I couldn't stop him.
I couldn't stop him. Like, oh, man. No, so yeah, they have the meeting, the council princes or whatever, and Malekith shows up instead of Bel'Shanar, and they're like, "Oh, this is not ominous at all." And it's
Were you hanging out with Bell? Is he coming?
I want to say they're doing it in front of the Phoenix Flames, the Phoenix Fire. I want to say they're doing it like at the Shrine of Assyrian.
Right.
All the princes are there, and Malekith says this little plot like Bel'Shanar was a traitor. He was part of the cults, and has been conspiring against you, and like gives his fake proof.
Yeah.
At least half of the princes immediately say bullshit.
Yeah.
Behold these dildos I found in his room.
And if all of you would take a whiff, they smell of his ass. And they're like, we're good. We're pretty sure we couldn't tell. He's like, that's... And like in his head, it's like the scene from Death Note where he's like, I stuck them up his ass after he died.
Just that way I would know.
That way they would know.
That was immediately what I thought of when you said like demon artifacts or whatever. It was just like they're just cursed dildos.
Just the cursed dildos.
You pick it up and it lets out like a...
Oh, man. Imagine being a demon and being banished and trapped into a dildo, and that's just your vessel now.
That depends on what kind of demon.
Yeah, true. That would be a
There's
boon for some.
25% chance that that's the best case scenario.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. 1 out of 4, that's the move.
Like a Cornite demon would probably be furious.
Oh, they'd be so mad.
Yeah.
Unless you like dildo slap someone, maybe they get a little fun out of that.
Right.
But...
If he's the dildo from Grand Theft Auto that you could get from the police station.
Oh, hell yeah.
Also, a horrible thought I just have is in this world, it's not inconceivable that bad dragon dildos are like real.
Oh no!
Because
there are totally Druki bad dragon dildos. This is canon.
Because
bad dragon.
There are dragon dicks to model them after.
Yeah. It would make more sense in that setting than it makes sense here. So
these are our dragon hunters. They use all non-lethal weaponry and cuffs. Why? To examine dragon dicks.
Okay, so
none of them are into it.
I imagine the Dark Elf equivalent of OnlyFans, and the maiden is showing off of her actual dragon penis dildo. It's actually a taxidermy dragon penis. It's a real size replica. It's not a replica, in fact.
Yeah,
it's the real thing. Like that's
something a Dark Elf would do.
That is totally what a Dark Elf would do.
There's a reason they get called Dark Elves.
Yeah, my apologies for putting that.
Yeah, this entire line of conversation. Maybe we cut this part.
Fuck. That's not on me. That's on Slanesh.
A lot of Prince fans.
But yeah, so fucking Malekith's like, yes, he's betrayed you all, and like most of the princes are like, that's actual bullshit. You killed him, obviously.
Yeah.
And they're like, traitor. And then Malekith's like, no, you traitor. And then so his guys come out and just start stabbing them. And the other princes are like, oh, fuck, bro. Like, what? Like,
oh, my God. Those 600 guys weren't just your friends, were they? Those were your guys.
And like, they're like, oh, it was a necessary bloodshed for the stability of the realm.
Right.
And they're like, all right, Malekith, all right,
I'm pretty sure
man.
this is just like a military coup now.
Yeah, all right, dude, you're just, all right. And so he's like, now it is time for me to walk through the Phoenix Flames.
It'd be hilarious if this killed him.
And he walks through the Phoenix Flames and he burns to a crisp.
Hilarious!
He burns to a fucking crisp. And you'll know.
How could this be happening to me?
And you'll know, in the beginning, Marathi comments, your father didn't need any words to pass through the Phoenix Flame. This whole thing is a sham. So he didn't get any words or anything. And they even told him, Malekith, you need the wards to pass through. You'll burn to a crisp. My father required no wards, and neither do I. Bah! And then he burns to a crisp.
An important part of your dad's story is that the first thing that happens to him is that the flames burn him alive.
Yeah, and then he magically gets restored. No restoration for good old Malekith. He's just burned to a crisp on the floor, dying. And so they're like, fuck, beans. And so they drag his ass back to fucking Amlek, back to Nagarath. And, the Sundering has begun.
Right.
There are now the elves loyal to Malekith and his claimant to the Phoenix Throne, which is pretty fucked because he passed through the flames and didn't make it. So anyone who was there and lived is like, yeah, he's clearly not the rightful Phoenix King.
Right.
Clearly.
He isn't.
He's the son of an Aryan, so he has a claim in that sense.
Yeah.
But he's not the heir of Surian. He needs to not be on the Phoenix Throne.
Yeah.
And then the people were like, well, he's fucking Malekith, so... And it's a 50-50 divide almost.
So, wait, did he make it through?
He did live.
He did. So, I need to reread the novel, but I will say, and people hate this.
What?
One of the key components of the end times is that all that is happening because Malekith is the rightful Phoenix King. If he was in the fire for like a second longer, you would
right. If he actually burned to death.
If he actually got burned all the way, you wouldn't have restored.
That was like a necessary part of it for his dad.
And like
he had to get Wolverine back up.
Funabar is the last Phoenix King. He's like racked with visions of madness about this, and when he has a revelation, he basically kills himself, and that's what causes the Phoenix Throne to be up in the air. And those events are what leads to like the last High of War of Secession, where eventually Tyrion takes the Sword of Cain, dooming the people yet again, like his forebearer did. And then there's literally a war against Cain Tyrion versus the new Phoenix King-esque Malekith. That ends up being the end times scenario, because Malekith was supposed to be the Phoenix King, but like I need to read the book again. It's fuzzy in my head. I don't remember exactly what the events were, but that is what the end times establishes. But whether that was the intent at the time of writing, I don't believe.
Who can say?
Who can say? I don't believe so, though.
Right.
But
I mean, this is supposed to be like explicitly tragic, so it
Yeah.
would make more sense if it's not.
yeah.
Like he was never supposed to be the guy, and his thrashing out against it is like the key to his flaw. Like that makes sense.
Yeah.
Does he get unburned?
Yes, in fact.
It's elven skin grafts.
Well, healing magic. Like,
So
Yeah, they have wizards.
there is one of the priests that Marathi was like kind of like befriending was the high priest of Vol. Vol was the smith god, and she basically was like, "Hey Hotek, you wanna just yeet over here with me and be like my guy?" And he's like, "Yeah, Marathi, you have rockin' tits." And so
Good as
he
reason as any.
steals like a whole bunch of like sacred artifacts and shit, and makes magically encircled armor to encase Malekith's frame, and they graft the armor to his skin.
They Darth Vader him.
They Darth Vader Malekith into a suit of encircled armor with like sorcerer's runes and shit, and so he has like Iron Man metal skin. He's literally like he is an Iron Man, and they fuse the crown of iron to his helmet.
Right, obviously.
And so
That's his arc
circlet
reactor.
of iron. Yeah, the circlet of iron to his head. So yeah, now and this is when he becomes the Witch King. This is now Malekith, the Witch King. No longer Malekith, the Prince of Amalek, Malekith, the savior of the colonies. No, this is Malekith, the Witch King, and he's come to fuck shit up. And with that, we're gonna end tonight's episode.
This was a good one.
Thank you.
Fucking Malekith is
Interesting character.
yeah.
Like good in that he's interesting. He's fun,
Exactly.
well written. He's fun to watch, fun to read. Complete bastard though. You shouldn't be like him. No one should grow up like that.
It's like when we were talking about Kugel. Kugel's the coolest.
Google's the coolest. And with that, have a great night.
Have a good night, everybody.
Bye.